you do. Just hold me tight, no words I needed. No one knows me like you. Love the way you do. Just hold me tight, no words I needed.
Evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I haven't been on here for quite a while. I've got my good friend John, who's a Liverpool supporter.
Technical issue.
Yeah, on technical issues.
There we go.
Good to see you.
And you good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Cool. It's
I'm
been
good.
a while since...
I'm sporting my my Christmas present from the wife, which is the Liverpool merch. You're on mute. You're on mute.
For some reason, I've got a new...
What's that?
Hold on. Is that better? There we go. That's more like it.
Yep.
That's more like it. I got a new camera. For some reason, it wasn't being recognised. Is that your dog?
Oh, okay. Okay. We're cooking. Yeah. So have you been? I haven't seen you for a while. Have you been enjoying the football?
I have been, actually. Yeah, really, a lot. I've got to admit, it's quite scary at the moment. I was saying to somebody the other day, it's bizarre when you look at, especially that team we had out the other night against Chelsea. You got 4, 5, 6 first choice players out.
Yeah.
And that first half absolutely tore them a new one. I've not seen us play like that for a couple of seasons. I think that's the best performance we've had. And I think, like I say, when we think about who we've had out or who we've got out, and like I say, a couple of kids on the pitch as well, just amazing to watch.
We can definitely talk about them individually.
Yeah.
That midfield is the best midfield. Like, that's the midfield that wins us the league. Like, we carry on playing that midfield.
Yeah, it's that and the fact that we looked... It's a bizarre one because we looked strong at the back as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I say, there's no taking away that Conor Bradley.
It's the Gomez factor, mate.
Yeah.
We talked about it a while ago. We talked about having a left back or a right back that can fill in as a centre back. It just solidifies the team.
Yeah.
And he's better inverted. Like, he's unbelievable inverted. Have you seen him?
Yeah. I remember someone mentioned it a while ago that they saying he wasn't good enough, and I still remember. I mean, I don't think people give him enough credit when you think he's only what? I think he's 24, 25 still.
26.
But he seems like he's been on the scene forever.
He played for us when he was 17.
Yeah, but as a
left back.
Yeah, but he's, I say, 25. Seems like he's been around forever. He's been dogged by so many injuries. And you think how good he's been playing at the moment with a decent run of football. It's just unreal. I mean, I speak to somebody, and I still try and remind people that Joe Gomez that played in the England side against Brazil. I think he was about 19 at the time.
Yeah.
We were playing like he was the right hand side of a back three, I think, and he had Neymar in his pocket for 90 minutes. Yeah. Neymar,
I remember the memes.
Neymar didn't get a sniff. It was he was unreal. But then I say a couple of unfortunate injuries since.
With England
and with us, to be fair, like he done shin.
The patella was with us. That was the worst one.
Yeah. So
I mean, I feel for him. He's been injured for 2 years. Like,
Yeah,
that's a
one and a half.
long time. That's a long
Yeah.
time. And the patella injury, like they say that it could take a year to
Mm.
get back to full capability after having one of those injuries. Think
And to be
about
fair, there's one.
Gomez as go on.
No, I was going to say, and there's one thing recovering from the injury, and then the other thing is to actually, what's the right word? Get back to match fitness, because you're never going to, like I say, recovering from an injury is one thing. So I was having to put you back on the reverse for that reason. I was looking at myself and I wasn't. Yeah, I was on the wrong view of the camera. Yeah, I mean, he was unfortunate in the fact that, like I say, when you got the back four that we had and we have had for the last 2, 3, 4 seasons, trying to break into that was going to be near on impossible. When you're coming back from injury and what you need is 70 minutes here, 80 minutes there, 90 minutes there, he was never going to get that until it gets to the point where he's fully fit. We have some injuries, or we have some players out, like Trent, like Robbo, like Matip, who, to be fair, like I say, are probably 3 of our first choice back four. But the way Gomez is playing, it's not even just his defensiveness. I mean, when you look at him going forward as well, I mean, every game, literally, he gets anywhere near the edge of the box, and the whole crowd like, shoot.
I know, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, and mate, I've got to try and get back up to Anfield again soon, because I think that atmosphere the other night, I think had it at that extra stand and that extra crowd, you can hear it, and it's only full half capacity of the extra next stand, isn't it, so far? So once that's at full,
have you got to spare 20 grand? Because that's how much the tickets are.
Yeah, I paid this year to be part of the membership. I got put into a ballot with me, Alfie, my dad, my brother, and his 2 boys. Me and Alfie got drawn tickets that we could go, and my brother and my dad and that didn't. And we're like, "Oh, can we go without them?"
You might have to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to at some point. But we, unfortunately, like I say, it was my daughter's birthday. When we've been to offer the tickets for, my missus just looked at me and I was like, "Oh, okay, sorry." So, I didn't even bother asking. But I think I still would have felt a little bit guilty going all that way, just the 2 of us. But that's got to be done at some point.
Didn't you go last year?
I went up for I went up for one of the cup games. Yeah, and I've done the 2 Legends games last couple of years. And I've done a league game as well. So it's I've been 4 times, I think, in the last couple of years. But obviously when you got as many bloody kids as I have, it's difficult to justify getting up sometimes. So
you got your own little football team.
Yeah, at least 5-a-side and a couple of subs at the moment. Depends. I think I've got 7 in the house at the moment. It's
Whoa.
Unreal.
So. Yeah, man. We'll definitely catch up for the Burnley game. Definitely.
That'd be good.
That's at Anfield as well, isn't it? So that'll be that'll be a good game. So what do you think, Dad? Do you think we can win the league then this year?
What I think we can. And what I like is that City have got a game in hand, but nobody's talking about us winning it. The pressure's still all on City. There's I sort of sit there and say, we're 5 points clear. Yes, they've got a game in hand, but we're still 5 points clear, and they've got to win that game. They've had some, even when Haaland's been in, even when De Bruyne has been in, they've had a couple of real dodgy results. And again, it goes back to prove, like, with the Premiership, anyone can beat anybody, and that's the scary thing. But I think if we continue playing, because this is the thing, I was saying to my dad the other day, we're top of the league, and other than that game against Chelsea the other night, I don't actually think we've played that well.
Bournemouth,
in maybe 2 or 3 other games.
Bournemouth and Newcastle.
Yeah,
those 2 games.
Exactly.
I would say since New Year, like we've started to play well.
Yeah. Even
and
early doors, when we had
unfortunately, we know why,
Mm,
and it's a
yeah.
weird one. But our best player out the team makes us play better,
This
which is weird.
again, yeah. But again, it's that Harry Kane scenario. It's the Steven Gerrard scenario to a certain extent. You've got. I think a lot of the time there's so much emphasis put onto getting that ball to one player and relying on one man.
Two players, not one, two.
What's that?
One ball goes to one player, and then the ball goes to the other player.
Yeah.
So it's literally him and him.
Yeah.
Like it's. I spoke to you before about this. It's weird.
Yeah.
We're now multi-dimensional. We're not one-dimensional anymore.
No.
There's only so many times you can be a one-trick pony, and
Yeah.
I felt like we were just being a one-trick pony. Like literally, pass the ball to Trent passes to Salah passes it or tries to shoot. That's it.
I think
literally that's Liverpool in a nutshell.
But again, you go back. I mean, that was us previously with you pass the ball to Gerrard passes it to Torres, or Gerrard passes it to Suarez, and again,
yeah, we didn't win the league, and we didn't win the league playing like that.
No, you saw a struggle, and then like I say, when the Klopp era first started coming about, and you had those early days with Salah, Bobby, and Mane, to a certain extent, the three of them were on an even keel. There wasn't not really a superstar out of the three of them. They were the front three that everyone feared. They were the best front three in the Premier League, blah, blah. But then I think over a period of time, you could start seeing that there was a little bit of imbalance in the team, especially between Mane and Salah. It didn't look like either of them wanted to pass to each other towards the end. And then obviously they go off and do the AFCON. One wins, one doesn't. And again, there just seemed to be some sort of an atmosphere between the two of them, and there was something not quite right.
Moody.
Yeah. And again, like I say, just now, it is bizarre because you take Salah out of the team, who is probably by far our best player, or rated as our best player. Again, we've had that conversation. I love Salah. I think he's brilliant. But at the same time, I do think he misses a hell of a lot of opportunities. He's selfish, which you have to be with it as a striker, I suppose. But again, it goes down to sort of, I suppose it was the old Andy Cole scenario, wasn't it? You get 5 chances, you might score one. You got Nunes who has 12 chances and doesn't score any, but creates
15 chances if you Nunes.
Yeah. But the man's chaos. I love him. He's brilliant.
He's incredible. We talked about Salah as well, because it's Salah always has to eat and the rest starve. You know what I mean? And it's like everyone's eating now. Like Salah's not on the team. Jota's got 6 goals and 4 assists, and Diaz has got Diaz has got 4 goals. I think Nunes has got 4 goals. Like Gakpo's got 2 goals. Like this is all since Salah's not been in the team.
Yeah. I saw something the other day. It's something like 17 goals in the last four games.
Yeah.
I said this to my dad the other day. I remember a couple of seasons ago. They put in the Premier League. If you look at the stats between Salah and Jota, I think Jota played the equivalent to, I think it was 900 minutes less than what Salah did. Jota scored, I think it was 6 or 7 less goals in that season. But Salah scored 6 penalties. So in terms of actual goals from open play, they were actually on par, but Jota had played 10 games less in minutes. So you sit there and you go, I love him. I love Salah. But how good are his actual stats? You can't argue with the goal scorer to a certain extent, because he's been our top goal scorer for many years. He creates so many as well. But when you've got someone like Jota that's coming in and outscoring him, to say, he's not getting the assists as such, but he's getting the goals.
So the Jota thing is interesting because I looked at Jota. Jota's had less than 30 shots this year, less than 30 shots this year, and he's on 7 goals.
Yeah.
Like he's an absolute clinical finisher. Like who he reminds me of is Ian Rush. Like it doesn't matter what you do as long as you get it on target.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. Like he scuffs it, it bobbles, he's fallen over. Just get it in the goal, and he does it every single time.
I think I'll be honest, the player he reminded me of a more recent player when I watched him the other night against Chelsea was a bit like Suarez. So that South American kind of forward that would just get the bit between his teeth and just bully his way through.
I feel like Nunes. I feel like Nunes is like Suarez this season because he just can't stop it in the frigging post. Do you remember Suarez's first season?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember how many times he hit the woodwork?
Yeah, that's right. He also banged a few as well, didn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah, it was like what's all that about?
Yeah. But
thing about Nunes though is Nunes is going to get 5. He's going to get 5 in a game. Like it's going to happen. I don't know who's going to end up on the end of that.
Yeah,
some poor goalkeeper.
I think the interview with Fowler hit the nail on the head after the Chelsea game the other night. I think he just needs to take a breath and just relax because everything seems to be done at 100 miles an hour, and I think he puts too much. I think he puts too much pressure on himself.
It's because he's the reason why it happens at 1,000,000 miles an hour is because he's so involved. Like he's constantly involved in the game. Like whether he's making a run, whether he's creating, whether he's shooting, like he's always involved, like all action. And the thing about Salah as well, I did want to touch on Salah is, and he's an incredible player, but there's 2 things he doesn't do for the team, and now he's out the team. Those 2 things are now getting done, and it feels like that could be the reason why. One of them is he doesn't press.
No,
Salah doesn't press. He's not a presser.
No,
and he doesn't provide any width anymore. So you've got the width back because we're playing like a Bradley or a Curtis Jones, or even, your Diaz has gone wider. Like Diaz is looking really good from the right, by the way. And then you've got obviously Nunes and Jota that are interchanging wherever. But it's the pressing. Like, that's what Jota does. Like Jota is such a good presser.
Yeah,
like he really is. Nunes really good at pressing.
Yeah,
Diaz is really good at pressing. Like as a team, that's what they're doing. But when Salah's there, it's like 2 go, 1 stays, and you're like, there's a missing link there, and then the ball just goes to somebody else who's free.
Who's not being pressed, and
exactly.
I think teams have noticed that. But
there's a way out.
Yeah. But I think
that
again, that's
one
thing I noticed. The press against Chelsea the other night was just immense from minute dot. It was just from the off,
Badiashile just could not cope. Like
that's a shit thing. I don't understand
the
whole concept of. I know, obviously, to some extent, a coach has got to stick to their game. Well, surely Pochettino had to look at that and go, "It's not working." But every single time it was like play it around the back, play it around the back, play it around the back, and try, and they're being shut down every single time. And
you know what I don't get. I'm not like a manager, but he signed the 2 centre backs from Monaco, yeah, and he's playing them both out of position.
Yeah,
like they were the centre backs for Monaco. Like play them as centre backs next to each other.
Yeah,
but he played Badiashile as a right back. Because when Chilwell went off, and then he played Disasi, who's a centre back, as a left back.
Yeah,
and like you've got a 39-year-old guy who's just not good anymore. Like he's been an incredible player, Thiago Silva.
Yeah,
but he's not good anymore. Like you stop playing him. Like he's going to need to
zipper
frame soon.
I think with him though, when you've got a team that's as young as that is. I think to a certain extent, you've got to have a head in there that's got the experience. And I think the problem with Chelsea is if it's not Thiago Silva, who is it? Because they don't have anybody else. Apart from Chilwell, I don't think they have anyone else with any previous Premier League experience that's any good. That's playing there.
You're best off just playing the centre back pair that played for their team for a couple of seasons, who became good players and French internationals because of playing well for Monaco.
How they play? Yeah, absolutely.
You might as well just play them together. Like they'll at least a good relationship.
Worse, right? That's what I mean. They can't be any worse, mate. Yeah, it's a bizarre thing. Again, it goes back to that conversation we had years ago about doing. And again, apologies to anybody listening. But it's when we said about Klopp last season, where there was just something about him. It was irritating because he just wasn't prepared to make changes to the way he was playing, even though we didn't have, I don't think, the right squad depth at the time to make certain changes. He still wasn't doing anything. He was going out in the same way and making the same mistakes, and we were being caught out the same way. And we said at the time, it's that whole definition of madness or insanity or whatever it is, where you do the same thing over and over again and you're expecting a different result. And it was a bit like that the other night, like I say, with Chelsea. I don't know why they kept playing that same way, expecting something different to happen.
Crazy.
But, yeah.
That could have been 7, by the way. Like that could have been.
That's what said.
That could have been an insane amount of goals. Like their goalkeeper was good as well.
Yeah, a mate of mine he's a Chelsea fan, but he went up to Anfield to watch the game, and he messaged me on the way back, going, "Oh, should have been a penalty for Van Dijk, kick you, mate." Boy, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I was a bit like,
threw himself into him.
Yeah, he did. But if truth be told, we would have been calling it as well if it was down the other end. We would have been. If Thiago had kicked Jota like that, we would have been expecting exactly the same.
There was no contact. There's literally no contact.
The second half, not the one where they went through on Van Dijk, not the first one. It was the one midway through the second half, and the ball got played in, and Van Dijk stepped. I don't think he intentionally kicked him, but he stepped forward and kicked him. Yeah. That
one got looked at as well, didn't it?
He got looked at, and I thought to myself, it's a penalty, and even the commentators were saying it's a penalty, and it wasn't given.
Is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, don't get wrong. I mean, we've had our fair shout of dodgy decisions this year.
We never got anything looked at.
I haven't got anything looked at. I haven't got anything given.
All season.
It's been mental. If it's got to this point and you have to rely on maybe one little dodgy decision against Chelsea, then
the thing about it as well, I wanted to talk about this as well, is I do think we're going to get a lot of decisions our way now, because we've had so many that were that bad that the referees are now
got balancing out.
We need to make sure we don't be too corrupt.
Yeah.
Like we need to make sure that they don't look at our bank accounts for all the other stuff we've done. And I mean, we had Tierney and Coote for that game. We couldn't have had the worst duo of VAR and ref. And I was like, how are we still getting Tierney? Like, how is he still a referee at Anfield? But he was all right.
Yeah. And I say,
I didn't think we'd get our penalty, to be fair.
I didn't, but again, I say
you can't not give it. He stood on his foot.
No, yeah, but again, it's one of those kind of whether there was an intention there or not, maybe not. But I think it's one of those things. If he hadn't have given it and it had been reviewed, I don't think they would have potentially overturned it, because it's one of those ones. Was there intention to stand on his foot? No. Did he stand on his foot? Yes.
He kind of stopped Jota from running.
Yeah,
because he trod on him.
They did take him out, but like I say, I wouldn't say there was any major intention there. But I say we missed it anyway.
Do you want Do you want to talk about McAllister, or do you want to talk about Bradley in that game?
Start with
pick which one,
McAllister if
mate.
you want. Start with McAllister if you want. Man,
McAllister is becoming a real player, isn't he?
Yeah. I think early doors, I think they would.
Yeah.
Whilst we were trying to play that defensive midfield role or trying to fill that hole, I think what he'd done with Endo Wataru was perfect. He'd done the same with Fabinho.
Have you seen how good he's been for Japan as well?
Yeah,
they're in the semi-finals now, right?
But I think he'd done the same. Klopp done the same with Fabinho as he'd done with Endo. Just eased him into that position gently. Obviously, McAllister played it. He done all right, but then there was talk of. I remember there was so much talk over the internet about him potentially being after signing of the season, and you got to give the man some time.
I've seen enough for him to not be like that goal he scored. I think that gets you quite a bit in the bank.
Yeah. But yeah. So I think I say again, it's one of those scenarios since Christmas. Again, you got a few different players coming in. Obviously, Jabozlai has settled in quite nicely as well. He started the season really, really well. I don't know whether a bit of tiredness sort of kicked in just before his injury, but he kind of went off the boil a little bit. And I wonder whether or not he's like getting up to the pace of the Premier League. But he went off the boil a little bit.
He's never played that many games. He's never played that many games before. It's just he's never done it before. So
no,
there was going to be a lull. There was going to be a lull.
Yeah, and again that pace. I say the Premier League's different levels to any other league. I think
he's doing the Jordan Henderson role as well, mate. He's not doing the Dominic Szoboszlai role. He's having to play a different type of football match where he's having to literally do like 15k a game, which is an insane amount. Thing about Mac as well, though, is and I genuinely believe this is the reason why he hasn't been as good. I don't think he's been fit. I don't think he's been used to being able to run the distance that he's having to do at Liverpool.
Yeah. Brighton was different.
Like at Brighton, he had Caicedo literally doing all the dirty work around him, so he could literally play with in a pair of slippers and a cigar. At Brighton, he didn't really do much running, to be fair.
No. And the time flying down the side, down the wing.
And when he's come to us, it's like by 60 minutes he's like beetroot and looks like a Scottishman.
He's got Scottish blood. He's got a face to match the name.
He has, mate. He has. But what I really liked about Mac as well is he started passing it more. He started passing it forward more. He's given Nunes those defense cutters through balls now. Yeah. And he can do that because he's got Curtis next to him who can cover that job. He can do the DM bit. He can cover for him while he maybe goes a bit further forward. They're all interchangeable now, and they're all getting used to their roles. But Conor Bradley,
and it is like say that interchanging bit. Like say you see it in a match now where I think last season I think we were guilty of that. The aftermath of having played every single game the season before, and I think most of the players, especially midfield, they were knackered.
Even the management, mate. I think the management were done in.
But like I say, you see it now.
Yeah,
you see it now.
As fans, we had go on.
No, I was going to say, you see it now. That game the other night, you could literally see as one was pressing, the other one was filling in behind him, and then the next one would press and it would move over again. And it was just a machine, just moving, just constant, just that press and then moving on, press, move on, press, move on. It's unless
quite scary, isn't it? It's scary to watch.
Yeah. Unless you get, it was one of what's the season? Oh, do you ever watch that Ted Lasso? Did you ever watch that on Apple TV? Mate, it's brilliant. They in one of the
So they're like
episodes.
Ted Lasso tactics.
Yeah. Well, in one of the seasons, because it's all about him being an American football coach and then learning how to play football. In one of the seasons, there he's sat there and he's reading. I think it was. I can't remember. It was something about Barcelona and that tiki-taka football and how that worked and the rest of it. And again, it's literally that, just seeing the team just move constantly, just move on, pass, move, or press and move, whichever way, whether you got the ball or you haven't. But the explanation in that one episode, and then you start watching that game or start watching the games, this sort of second half of the season so far, and you go, that's that tiki-taka football, you know what I mean? That high press, tiki-taka. And I think we've been trying it pre-Christmas, and I don't think it's, for whatever reason, it hasn't quite worked. But since Christmas, I say all of a sudden it just like a switch seems to have been flipped. Missing half our first team, and all of a sudden, Klopp's now got a headache as to what he does. You've got all these players back, and what do you do? I say, I mean, Arsenal game at the weekend.
I do think Trent will come in for that game. I do.
But where? You reckon he'll go into midfield, or do you reckon he'll go into that inverted right?
I think. Well, it depends if McAllister's injured off that knee to knee.
Yeah.
But I do think he'll probably go in as right back. Like Bradley.
I don't know. I see. For me,
reminds me of Gareth Bale, mate.
Yeah.
Bradley reminds me of Gareth Bale. Like really scary. Like
it's a Trent from early. It's early doors Trent, because Trent would concentrate so much on doing his defensive work initially,
mate.
And then
Bradley, no. Bradley had Mudryk in the box twice, in our box twice, just muscled him off it. Trent weren't doing that, mate. Trent weren't doing that stuff, mate. Bradley is a really good defender as well. Gareth Bale was a really good defender, but like Bradley is, like I've done like a little bit of research on Bradley. Like he could have been a Gaelic footballer.
Okay.
he's got like lungs of a killer whale. Like honestly, have you seen his shoulders? He's 20 years old, mate. You're not getting him off the ball.
He's a lump.
You're not winning the ball off him. I don't think anybody has won the ball off him. Like, once he's got it, that's it. Like,
well, that's the thing. The thing is, you say about Trent coming in. I don't understand how Klopp can drop Bradley. When you look at his last couple, he's had 2 man of the matches on the bounce.
3.
Is it 3 on the bounce? Is it?
Yeah, he's had three actual TV man of the matches. Like he was
okay,
giving
I thought
it
was
on
2.
the TV.
Yeah, so he's had 3 man of the matches. What is it? 4 assists and 1 goal.
Yeah, 4 assists, 1 goal.
Mate, how can you take that thing?
You know what's kind of blown my mind a bit as well is, you know, the way you throw a kid into a game. I mean, he's 20 years old. Okay, he's just turned 20. Okay, so maybe he's a kid, maybe he's not a kid. Okay,
yeah,
you know, we class him
as football terms. He is still a kid, isn't he? Like I say, I mean, he's fresh on the scene for the first team.
Absolutely, you class him as a brand new academy player playing for Liverpool because he is. Yeah. He's got end product.
Yeah.
Like he has end product straight away. Like, and he's not like, it's not lucky end product. You know the way you get like someone like burns someone like Doak, burns someone down the wing, free, clips the ball in. Like he's not aiming for anyone in particular.
No, he's putting the ball into the
and
danger
it gets
area.
to someone and it goes in. Bradley's is precision end product.
Yeah.
Like a natural player who knows where the players are, knows exactly where he's going to put the ball. Basically what like Trent and Robbo do. Like that assist for Dominic Szoboszlai, he put that in the hardest place the goalkeeper can go and the defender. It was in that no man's land.
Yeah.
What you got to do, you just got to get a runner in.
Yeah, that's what Szoboszlai said. He said he didn't have to do anything. It literally was on his head.
Do you remember the goal against Barcelona that Wijnaldum scored?
Yeah.
And Robbo put the ball in. Was it Trent or Robbo? It was either Trent or Robbo put the ball into that area. I think it might have been Robbo because it was from the It's from the left-hand side.
Oh,
And it comes into that area. There's no one there. Like, there's no one there when it's coming in.
yeah,
But all you got to do is attack it. And
yeah.
the man who's running
Yeah,
in, he's got the advantage. And that's what he done. He was like, there's no point putting it at the near post. Most kids would put it at the near post.
Yeah.
Because that's naturally get it as close as I can to the goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might come off a defender, might go in. But Bradley's gone. There's midfields making the run. I can see midfielders making the run as he's coming in. He's like, if I put it into that corridor, then someone who can attack it can score.
Yeah.
And that was a really important goal because they were coming back into the game because we brought Trent on. And who else did we bring on?
It was Trent, Elliott, Gakpo, and
we brought Gakpo was poo. Right. Yeah, we brought Trent and Gakpo on, and the game kind of swung. Like it did swing because we took Bradley off.
You take the momentum out, you take the momentum away. You take a bit of the that pressure going forward. Better performance. I think
did the same against Norwich. Well. Did the same against Norwich. Like took the left back and the right back off. They scored.
You can see just now why though. Like I say, when you got games against Chelsea coming up, when you got games against Arsenal coming up, when you got the players that are making the difference and doing the running. Just like I say, in theory, I say we were 3-0 up, and you go, we're coasting.
Yeah,
you've got a few minutes left. And I say, I put a post up at the during the week after the game, and said like, did you see that? Who's her name? Leanne Sanderson, the ladies footballer from ages ago.
No, big up Gary, and also big up on Riley, mate. Yeah, go on, sorry.
Yeah, no, did you see do you remember Leanne Sanderson? Did you see her comment the other week about
don't know.
She was on TalkSport the other week, and she was her co-commentator was he was like pro Liverpool winning the league, and she went, no, I can't see it. They've got no strength in depth. And you're sitting there going,
I'd say that's what we've got.
You go
over anyone else. We've got strength and depth.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say. I mean, when you look at the Prem, other than maybe City, who else has got a better squad? I know. Don't get me wrong. I know to a certain extent when you've got the likes of when you looked at the start of the season, would you have expected that Jarrell Kwanzaa to step up? Probably not. Would you expected Conor Bradley to step up? Probably not. You had that lad. Is it McConnell in midfield? He got the
assist on his debut.
Would you expect him to step up?
He could have got sent off, though, to be fair.
Yeah. But again, like I say, would you expect him to step up and be playing first team? Probably not. So it's
Joe Gomez. Would you expect Joe Gomez to be probably the best English defender in the country right now?
Yeah. So again, at the start of the season, you'd have maybe questioned about that whole strength in depth part. But like I say, when we've got players that are out injured, you've got players that are off at AFCON, and we're top of the league. And when you look, I mean, who we had out? We've had Salah and Endo have been at AFCON. Then you've had obviously Thiago hasn't played all season. I think, and Thiago. So I stand by. I still think Thiago
for a year.
Yeah, I think Thiago is technically, I think he is our best player. The man's first touch, the way he plays the ball, his ability in the air is ridiculous. Has he got the engine and the fitness for the Liverpool side? No. But technically, amazing. And then we've had Robbo's been out long term, Trent's been out long term, Matip's out for the season. Tsimikas. Who's the other one? There's
Mac was out, Don was out.
Mac was out. Yeah, Zabozlai was out. So you got 8 or 9 players, which would be first team.
Canate was out for a bit as well.
11. Pardon?
Canate was injured for a bit as well.
Who's that?
Canate was injured.
Oh, Canate. Yeah, I thought you said Canate. Yeah, Canate's been out. So you're looking at that, and then again, you're looking that at least 8 or 9 out of those 8 or 9 players listed, 10 players, you put Canate in there. You'd probably say 6 or 7 of them were first names on the team sheet. if they're fit.
You'd sit here now. You'd sit here now and you go, hang on a minute, we haven't had our left back or right back like for most of the season.
Yeah.
And we just haven't.
No.
Like, Trent was injured at the start of the season.
Yeah.
And then, he's been just after Christmas. Like, so we've missed Trent for maybe 15 games, I think.
And the scary thing is, we've got the best defensive record in the league. Conceded 19 goals, and we're giving silly goals away.
We've got the best defensive record in the league, and we play with possibly 2 centre backs and maybe a left back. Like, seriously, it's quite scary. It is quite scary, and that just shows how good Virgil, Canate, Gomez, and Alisson are. It just does. Yeah. It just shows that, like, how good they are as a unit is just quite incredible.
Yeah. You mentioned in Alisson, then obviously going off on a slight tangent from there. And again, I hate to say it because I've rated him, but how ropey does Keller look?
Yeah,
he's been getting in the games in the cup.
Keller basically looks like Mignolet now.
Yeah. I don't know whether there's the element of he's accepted
just
now.
Doesn't play, mate. Just doesn't play.
But I don't know whether he's just realised or accepted that he's never gonna be first choice.
We just turned down 15 million, you know.
Yeah.
We just turned down 15 million from I think it was Brentford.
Okay.
Yeah, we turned down 15 million from Brentford because their goalkeeper is dog shit.
Mm.
Sorry, not Brentford. Notts Forest.
Notts Forest.
Yeah, because they've just got disaster goalkeepers, haven't they? Like literally, like, are you really going to play Matt Turner against Arsenal? Like, he literally plays for Arsenal, and he threw their goal in.
Yeah,
that they won the game on. He's absolutely dreadful.
I just don't think. I've rated him previously. I couldn't tell you in previous years. Not a single, probably a single mistake's wrong, but I don't think I could have ever at any point put my finger on a goal or a fault that he'd made that's led to a goal. He's come in, he's done a job, and he's been solid. But this year, when he's played and he's conceded, you just think to yourself,
Ali could have saved that.
Yeah, well, not only Alisson should have saved that, but you go, he should be saving that.
Milner could have saved it.
Yeah, Milner could have saved it. But yeah, like I say, he should be saving that. And to a certain extent, I mean, we've got that young, is it a Polish lad that we've just put out on loan?
Yeah, he's good.
I can't remember his name. He's supposed to be absolute shit up. You go, why don't you just take the 15 million and put the young lad on the bench?
Why do you let Keller have a bloody career?
Yeah.
Why are you holding back like Nat Phillips and Keller? Like, why? Like, they're both 26 years old. They both played less than 30 games for Liverpool in their careers. Like,
but again, it's down to them. I suppose
they both need games.
No, but again, this within their ability to hand in a transfer request and go and get a game somewhere else, I guess.
Well, do you remember the other goalkeeper we had, Kabara?
Yeah.
How good's he?
Yeah, he looks really good.
He's just been signed for I think it's Wolfsburg. I think Wolfsburg had just signed him from Copenhagen.
Yeah, we played against him. Was it last year? Played against him in the Champions League.
He was really good. He put a transfer request in.
Yeah,
because he wanted to play, and
you can't.
He's a really good goalkeeper.
I do think, though. What I do think is that with Klopp going, I think you'll see a lot of those fringe players that have kind of hung around. Depending
DJ
on
Brains.
He's not an absolute success. No, you're right.
Big up Redbird.
But I do think with Klopp going, I think you'll see a lot of those fringe players that have maybe. Well, again, it depends on who we get in. I think we'll see a lot of those fringe players leaving because it's not that they're not going to get that chance to play for Klopp, which I think a lot of players kind of have hung around for previously.
Well, that's a really good segue onto who do you want?
What are we going to do next?
Who do you want?
Man, the Liverpool fan inside of me wants to say Gerrard, but I don't think he's got it, not yet. He done really, really well at Rangers. But then he was shocking at Villa. But then again at Villa, I don't. It's going to be a bit of a contradiction because I don't think he had the players at Villa to play the way he wanted to play.
He was shocking at Villa, mate.
Yeah, but then
he was shocking.
He's
not getting any excuses, mate.
No, but Unai Emery,
literally, Unai Emery lost Coutinho and a couple of other players that were Gerrard's probably better players.
Yeah,
and I went straight up the table.
Man.
Went unbeaten at home for about like 18 games or something.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'd say whether that was a lack of respect from the players in the camp. I don't know. Like I said, I don't understand how you can go to somewhere like Rangers and do as well as you do there. Because don't get me wrong, again, Scottish football is completely different. But you still get a team performing a way you want them to perform. And then you go somewhere like Villa, and nobody even looked interested. I
think.
So you do wonder whether there was a lack of.
Yeah,
a lack of support, a lack of something from the Villa players.
I kind of get the vibe that he might have gone in and done like a Brendan Rodgers, where he handed out the envelopes.
Oh, okay.
I kind of feel like he might have gone in and kind of flexed himself too much, and when he basically put Tyrone Mings in the reserves, who was basically their captain and like an icon, like a Villa, obviously they lost Grealish.
Yeah,
he was like the other icon, but Mings is a big player for them, and when he kind of said that you're crap in front of everyone, I think he just went downhill there. If you lose the dressing room, you're done. I think that's what Benitez
said, didn't he?
That's Benitez. I think Benitez said that, didn't he? If you have two players that don't like you in the dressing room, you might as well sign your own death warrant. Or was it might be Ferguson? I can't remember who said it.
Yeah,
I said it.
It's true. Yes, that was famous words of Chris McAvoy. But no, it's right. Like I say again, especially if it's the captain of the club, if you're going to sort of come in and try and be the big I am and try and enforce your beliefs and your opinions into the club, and in doing so, try and make that statement. I think that again that goes back to what most Man United managers have tried to do over the last 10 years. They've come in and they want to make a statement. The club have gone out and made this whole marquee signing just to get shirt sales and just to get a big name up front. But off the back of that, all they're actually doing is actually just pissing the existing players off. Like again, Marcus Rashford, one of the biggest, best players that was coming on the scene, probably 10 years ago now, 8, 9, 10 years ago. And in the last last season he was all right, but this season just doesn't seem interested. But I don't know. Like I say, when you look at it previously, when you've had, again, we've touched on it before, when you have Cavani, Ronaldo, and all of a sudden you're being sat on a bench while some 35, 36-year-olds being brought in to get some shirt sales. Too right, you're going to feel dejected. But what's that? Yes,
that's all right. They're chatting between each other. I remember when Gerrard went in, didn't he buy an Everton player? It's his first signing.
Oh, was that Digne?
Yeah, Lucas Digne. Didn't he get rid of didn't he get rid of like one of their really good players as well? Was it Matty? It wasn't Matty Cash.
Matty
Who
Cash.
did they
Was it
get?
Matty Cash?
It wasn't Matty Cash. They've still got him. They sold one of their good players and got Digne, and that was like a big, like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Like,
but again,
I mean, for me though, with Gerrard, it's like I felt like he's too much of a legend, to be a manager in the UK, so in the Premier League, like for British players. I feel like he's too much of a legend. I feel like he'd work better abroad.
Yeah,
where he's not.
I think he's got to go and do that, cut his teeth, maybe come back in sort of 10 years after having made a bit of a name for yourself, fallen on your face a couple of times, learned how to pick yourself up and go again.
I mean, what he did in what he did in Scotland is brilliant, but there's only 2 teams in it, mate. Like,
that's Scotland, isn't it?
Yeah,
but again, I say, having said that, Chelsea.
And the weird thing is, he did like a Brendan Rodgers. Like, he literally did what Brendan Rodgers did. Brendan Rodgers was at Celtic, and then came to us. Or did he go the other way around? Oh no, he came from.
No,
did he come from Swansea to us?
Yeah, Swansea to us,
Swansea
and then he went
to us, and then to Celtic.
Leicester. Then he went to Leicester. Did he go Leicester, then Celtic?
Did he go to Celtic? Did we get him from Celtic or Swansea?
I think he came to us from Swansea, and he went from us to Leicester,
and then to Celtic,
and
he's still there now. And he's still there now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's doing unbelievable stuff. No, is he still a Celtic or is he gone? I don't know.
He's gone.
What I don't get is why Brendan Rodgers didn't get the Arsenal job. Like, he's better than Arteta. He's got more of a CV. Like, I don't understand why he never got the Arsenal job. I would have thought, or even the Tottenham job. I would have thought he would have been a front runner.
I suppose he's got that history of being part of Arsenal.
What, being in the Champions League like most years? Like, you can't really knock that. Like, if he was in the Champions League loads with us, he was in the Champions League loads with Leicester. He was in the Champions League loads with Celtic. Like, you know what I mean? You guarantee to kind of get top 4 with him, or round about 6.
There or thereabouts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, he was a bit of a dick with us in the end, but that's what happens when you're given loads of money and a TV show.
Yeah, and I do think, like, again, that was a weird one. I don't understand. Again, when you
had
see
to deal with Mahrez, I mean that in itself.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
And that whole business with Gerrard. Again, I think that it's that same situation. What we're saying about the Gerrard and Tyrone Mings scenario. Again, you fall out with your club captain, and then you tell your club captain that you ain't gonna be playing much next season, and blah 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 blah. And then you get rid of what, in theory, is the heart of the team, the heart of the city. You're done. Your career, you might as well hand your CV in and fucking.
He did it with Gerrard. He did it. Rodgers did it with Gerrard, and Gerrard did it with Mings.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back, who do you want to be Liverpool manager? We can talk about Gerrard all day long. You know that. Yeah. Plenty of time for him. Apart from his accent when he tried to speak bloody Arabic weirdo. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah. I think he will come back at some point. But I think if it's anybody at the moment that's still got that link, that affiliation, and the desire and know the club, it's got to be Alonso, right?
It's got to be Alonso.
Yeah. I saw a link the other day to Zidane.
He has to be in the conversation.
But again, maybe on the basis that obviously we've got a good side.
Are you mental? Like, seriously, mate. Like Zidane has won the Champions League 3 years in a row. and
Yeah,
and also the Spanish league twice.
Yeah, I'm
in
not
3
knocking
years.
his. Mate, I'm not knocking his CV. The only thing I'd say with Zidane is he is Real Madrid through and through. He's got the love, he's got the respect of the club, the city, the fans, and he had a very good Real Madrid side.
He's got a very good Liverpool side when he comes in.
He could have, but would he?
Has to be in the conversation.
Would he? It has to be in the conversation. Don't get me wrong, but I think
would he get us Mbappe? Yeah. Could he handle Mbappe? Yeah. Look at some of the egos he had. Look at some of the egos he handled, mate, at Real Madrid.
Yeah.
He had Ronaldo. He had Ronaldo at Real Madrid.
The only thing that I say with him though is that I don't know whether or not, because you have some coaches come over that just don't get the Premier League, don't get the pace, don't get the rivalries, don't get the derby games and things like that. And I think they sometimes underestimate it. I think he's got to be in the conversation, but I think if you're looking at somebody that he's been there, he's done it, he's got the t-shirt, and he's got that history with the club, and he's doing well. He's doing really well.
I think he's just waiting for the French job now.
Who's Zidane?
Yeah, and he's playing football on the beach.
Yeah, maybe. But again,
I want Alonso anyway.
Yeah, I think Zidane, you'd have to pay him an absolute fucking fortune as well to come over, and that's another reason why.
Klopp?
Yeah, but again, Klopp over time, I think he earned it. Do you know what I mean? He justified his.
Have you heard what Klopp did as well? Like the last 2 contracts. The pay rise that he was offered, he gave to the coaches.
Yeah, he
denied
it. Yeah.
Can you imagine how much Klopp would have been on? He would have been on 18 million.
Yeah.
But he turned down the extra 3 million. That's mental. Yeah, I'll tell you why I want Alonso. Alonso has learned his football management through 3 managers, and they are all world-class managers.
Yeah.
Like I don't know another player that's in management now who has learned his trade by playing with Pep, Mourinho, and Ancelotti. Like that is staggering. Like this guy
and Brendan Rodgers, wasn't
it? Yeah, we'll get rid of that one.
To be fair, we were right under Brendan Rodgers for a couple of seasons. We can't knock it.
Well, it was also Rafa.
Yeah,
he won the Champions League. He won the Champions League with Rafa, mate. But Rafa's a good manager. He's not world class, but he's a good manager.
Yeah.
But he obviously played for Rafa at Real Sociedad, didn't he? Or was it Valencia? Who did Rafa won the league with? Who in Spain? Was it Valencia or Real Sociedad?
I thought it was Real Sociedad.
He won the league with Real Sociedad.
Yeah, I thought so.
Google that while I'm talking about Alonso, because we signed him, and he brought Alonso with him. You remember that? Yeah, he brought Alonso with him. Anyway, and then tried to get rid of him for Gareth Barry, which is mental, and that's why Alonso left. But to have a guy who's learned his trade under 3 of those managers, including Rafa, to be fair.
Yeah.
Valencia. It's unheard of.
It was Valencia.
Valencia. Yeah. It's unheard of, mate. And not only that, like he's a World Cup winner, he's a Euro winner, he's won the Champions League twice, he's won countless leagues. Like this guy, he's cut from the cloth that is destined to be something special. I mean, if we don't get him, he's got Bayern Munich or Real Madrid written all over him in like 2 years' time. And I'm willing to give him a year or 2. He's 42?
42, I think. Yeah.
Mate, I'm willing to give him a year or 2.
Yeah.
I'm willing for us to next year be in the Champions League. Yeah, maybe not win it, maybe get to like knockouts, whatever, or maybe do another Champions League, like get into the Champions League again and not challenge. I'm willing to put another charge like that or another quad charge on hold to get Alonso in. And also what I think would happen is it's kind of written in the stars that we do what happened with Klopp, and Klopp gets his players he wants with a big player sale.
Yeah,
and I can see that being Salah.
Yeah,
he did it with Diaby, by the way. As soon as he went to Bayer Leverkusen, Diaby like gave it the big head and said, "I'm the best player. I want this. I want that." And he just went, "I'm going to sell you to Saudi Arabia, then, mate.
yeah,
I don't need you in my team." And he was like their standout star player. And he was going to the Saudi Arabia. Do you remember there's all pictures of him in a Saudi Arabian kit? And then Aston Villa came in and spent like 69 million or something. And they haven't missed him one bit.
No, they've been immense, haven't they?
And they play really wide. Like Trent could be incredible for Alonso because he'd be able to play much further higher up, like as a proper right winger.
I think what I like
Bradley,
as well, I think what I like as well about Alonso is that when you look at his squad and the teams that he's playing, again, he trusts those youngsters. He doesn't care about throwing a young lad in there. If he's good enough, he's playing. And that's, I think, the difference with Zidane to a certain extent. Great at managing those superstars that will go out and you'd like to think will do the job for you, regardless of where you put them on a pitch. They'll go out and they'll do the job. Whereas I say Alonso, just saying, he hasn't got the big names. He hasn't got the senior players to a certain extent. He's got some unknowns. He's got some youth in the team, and he's still getting those results. And again, to a certain extent, that it echoes what Klopp's doing this season to a certain extent. Yes, we've got some big players in our side, but at the same time, I say when you look at what we've done at the beginning of the season or in the summer, where we get rid of Hendo, Fabinho, Bobby, Milner,
Mane,
you know what I mean?
Keita, Ox.
Yeah, Keita, maybe not, and Ox. I loved Ox.
Keita was a good player, mate. He was just injured. Like, I'm not saying he wasn't a good player for us. He was a good player for us when he played.
It's one of those things. Was he a good player? Maybe. Was he good enough for Liverpool? I don't think so. I still, to this day, I remember, I think he lived off one good goal. He had that absolute screamer from outside the box. But other than that, I couldn't tell you another decent game he had.
That's fair.
So, but like I say, was he a good player? Yeah, he was all right. Was he going to win you anything at Liverpool? No. Maybe again, like I say, Joe Gomez scenario, isn't it? He's not. He wasn't fit long enough to actually be playing and making a change.
Big up. Big up Neil as well. One thing I will say about the links to Alonso as well, which is interesting, is the director of football that signed Alonso, Tim Steedman, who was at Bayer Leverkusen and then went to West Ham. He's being linked to Liverpool now, and he also applied for the role under Klopp, but Klopp wanted his mate. So it's really interesting that we're looking at him, and he's really pissed off at West Ham because they signed Phillips, and they also signed Ward-Prowse, and he didn't want them. You've seen the players he signed. He signed Kudus and he signed Alvarez, and also the Mark Quaz or whatever his name is, the Greek international. And look how good they've been, like those players alone. He also wants that other guy as well from the Swedish league. I can't remember his name. He's a young left winger. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But it's interesting that we're targeting him because he's the guy that basically all of the players that Alonso have got, like your Florian Wirtz, Boniface, Hinapache, Taposa, Frimpong, all of those guys that are at Bayer Leverkusen. He was the one that got them, and he was also the guy that found Kevin De Bruyne. By the way,
Yeah.
he was the guy that got him to Wolfsburg years ago, and then obviously they sold him to Man City for like
but he got him to Chelsea, didn't they?
Yeah, he got him from Chelsea, but he was the guy that originally uncovered him as well. So I think that's an interesting link that we're looking at Alonso, and we're also looking at Tim Steedman, and the pair of them together is basically a Moneyball match made in heaven.
Yeah,
and he's worked with him for 2 years, so you know what I mean. And if we get Tim Steedman, then he'll be the guy that gets Alonso, because the director of football is really the person that should get the manager. That's how it works in Germany.
Well, see, as well, the other day we've been linked back to Michael Edwards as well, haven't we?
I don't think that'll happen. If that does happen, I don't think he'll come in and do that role. I think he'll come in and do the Billy Hogan role or the Mike Gordon role, where he's the actual managing director of the club.
Yeah,
so he's the guy that actually runs the club, not the guy that's in charge of transfers and the committee and stuff like that.
We see that sometimes you have to move away to come back. But I remember having that conversation with you years ago when he left, and it was because it was a bit of a strange one, wasn't it? I mean, he'd done so well for some of the signings he made. And I remember we saying that the rumours were that he just couldn't work with Klopp.
Klopp wanted too much power.
Yeah.
And it's proved that.
Yeah. But again,
you can see that.
I see something on some of these forums, and they talk about obviously FSG and Klopp not getting the support that he should. We never spend any money and blah, blah, blah. But again, on these forums, I'll quite happily put a comment on there, but because when you look at Klopp's history, whatever club he's been at, he's never spent big.
No,
he's never ever spent big. Apart from, like I say, I think the only times obviously we spent big is what Alisson, Van Dijk, and probably then
net spend.
Yeah, but again, Alisson Van Dijk was Coutinho money.
I mean, if you look at even the money we've spent now, because we had a big splash like last year, we're still eighth in the league since Klopp's took charge at spending. That's that. I mean, to be so far down the food chain in players bought, and the number of players bought as well. By the way, like we're about 30 players less than Pep.
Yeah,
and to run them so close every single year, it's quite incredible. Like, it really is incredible. Like if you look at it, like pound for pound, we've been, I don't know, like 3 points and 40 minutes away from another 3 titles and 2 cups.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like
this new job I've got. I'm literally in the car every other day, all day. So I do a lot of listening to like TalkSport more so than anything. If there was another channel out there I could listen to,
TalkSport is quite depressing. Like
it is
really bad.
This is what I was saying earlier about that.
They got rid of Souness. I used to listen to it because Souness was on in the morning.
He's back on now. He's back on in the afternoons. He's back on in the afternoons.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's doing his bit.
I like Souness.
But I've been listening to the...
Not as a manager.
No. I've been listening to that of late, and they were talking the other day. Who was it? It was Darren, Ben, and Andy Goldstein.
Yeah, Darren Bent's all right. Andy Goldstein's all right as well, actually.
Well, obviously,
Goldstein's
a massive Man United fan, isn't he? So he's 100% biased. And maybe I am to a certain extent when we'll sit here having this conversation. But they were saying, obviously, it was literally it was the day that Klopp had made his announcement that he was going to be moving on. And they were saying, where does he rank out of 10? Where does he rank up against the likes of like Pep and Alex Ferguson and the likes. And again, like Darren Bent, I'll take him out of two because he said for him, he was a 10 out of 10. Easy. He said because obviously he's won everything since he's been there. There isn't anything that he hasn't won that he could have or should have. And in an era where obviously Man City have dominated with regards to spend, but not once did they mention anything with regards to obviously breaking rules. You go,
They've not been proven guilty yet, though.
It hasn't, but when you've got 115 charges against you, and the only reason why they're not being brought to court as yet is because it's so complicated that, and if they do charge Man City, when they're talking about sort of other clubs being able to sue the likes of Everton and what have you in certain season when Everton have literally just survived, when in theory they've broken rules and they maybe should have gone down instead and the rest of it. So there's talk that I think it was Everton could be sued up to like 300 million or something. And when you're looking at Man City, where they've got 115 charges against them, they've got to fall foul of at least, a fair few. They can't walk away scot-free.
Big Frank.
There's no way that they can walk away scot-free, not getting charged with any of them. And off the back of that, I feel with like Klopp when you try and criticise him, when I say he's done everything he has done, he's won everything that's possible. Like last year, again, you keep kind of bouncing around. Not last year, year before. We were what?
The double season.
Pardon?
The double season.
Yeah, well, we were 2 wins away from doing a quad.
Yeah, I know.
Played every single possible game, which no other team has ever done. Every single possible game in a season, we played it. And we were 2 wins away from doing a quad in a season when, again, Man City were spending what they wanted to spend.
The crazy thing is, last season, Man City were 1 game away.
Yeah.
Winning the quad.
Yeah.
They lost in the semi-final, didn't they?
Yeah.
In the
well, that's semi-final. So in theory, they had to win the semi-final.
Yeah, but they were literally like they almost played the same amount of games. And the season before that as well, by the way, Man United almost went 60 games as well. I know it's crazy, but yeah. Can I just talk about the FFP thing as well? Because I watched a podcast by The Athletic with David Ornstein, and they had this guy, I can't remember his name, Matt. I think his name's Matt Reddy, and he's like a financial expert. And I don't know whether you know. I don't know whether people actually know all about Man City charges and all about the FFP rules, because they don't talk about it because they don't want people to know about it. Like they don't want people to know and then investigate it themselves. Because, and the really interesting thing is, this can go 2 ways, by the way, with the FFP, and I'll talk about it a little bit more because I think you'll find this interesting. If they're found guilty, the Prince of Saudi Arabia, sorry, the Prince of the UAE can go to prison. Okay, that's how high up it goes. Okay, so if they're found guilty, royal family can go to prison for corruption. Okay, and about 5 major Fortune 500 companies CEOs could go to prison, because if it's one thing, then they knew, and they knew, if that makes sense. It goes all the way to the top. And that's why it's complicated. Okay, that's one thing. The next thing is, if they're found not guilty, then the Premier League and UEFA can be charged for actually taking this as far as they did.
Yeah.
And this is the thing about it, and that's why, like, you know, you've got big people in UEFA and that's coming out saying, yeah, they're guilty, we know they are. Because if they're found not guilty, mate, they could literally do you personally, because it's defamation. And look, whether it's true or not, I don't really care now, to be honest. I just want us to just carry on, win a league for Klopp, and then he moves on. I'm done with all of that stuff about, oh yeah, we get 5 trophies back and all this shit. Like, I just don't care. It's all water under the bridge now. It's happened. You know, I've suffered. We've all suffered. We all went through the heartache thinking Steven Gerrard had won us the league with Coutinho. But it is what it is. But that's the thing about it. It's like they took it as far as they could in Europe. But the reason why they lost is because there was a thing which is called statute of limitation, which basically means you can't go that far back. Yeah. So they couldn't go a couple of years back when they wanted to. And when they kept on dragging it out in court because they had the lawyers, they ran out of time. And they had some of their own lawyers in the actual jury, because if you take it to the court of arbitration and you do it in Europe, the way we have a jury of loads of people, like random people who get called up and they go guilty, not guilty, whatever, like, and it's really fair. In Europe, it's 3 judges and they decide, like 3 judges decide whether you're guilty or not guilty. Like, yes, no, yes. And basically two of them were in Man City's favour. And that's the reason why they got away with it. But they were guilty. Like, they were definitely guilty. It's just it ran out of time. But with this, because it's in the Premier League and it's in the UK, there's no statute of limitation.
No.
They can go as far back as they want. Like, this could go all the way back to that who was that manager they had before Martinez, Mancini. He was Argentinian, wasn't he? What's his name?
Pellegrini? Yeah.
Pellegrini?
Yeah. Something like that.
It could go all the way back. It could go all the way back to Pellegrini, Mancini, and Pep. It could go all the way back through those. So you're talking years and years and years. And that's why it's taken so long. And mate, they better be sure they've got them. Because if they haven't, this could be one of the biggest stories in football history.
Yeah.
Because that's UEFA and the Premier League going after a club that's not guilty.
Yeah.
And not only that, they're a Middle Eastern owned club. Like, how hot is it with the Middle East right now? Like, we're literally on the verge of a war with Iran.
Well, the thing is,
we're trying to charge the royal family in the UAE for corruption. Are you having a laugh? It's crazy, mate.
Hold on, Alfie's going back and being hungry. Turn the oven on. I'll sort something out in a minute.
And the other thing as well about Everton and Notts Forest and stuff like that. Like, I really feel sorry for Notts Forest, because they actually had that Welsh lad. Like, they had him sold.
Yeah,
but he turned down the move to Brentford.
What's the thing?
He went to Spurs.
Johnson, Brett
Johnson. They had him sold. They had a £35 million deal for him to be sold, and that was going to sort out their FFP, basically. Yeah. And he said no. So they were like, "Shit."
Yeah,
like, we broke the rules.
The thing is, though, it's like, I don't understand when, like I say, they're charging Everton, like I say, they're charging Notts Forest, and it's literally, there's the charge, there's the fine, there's the points deduction, job done.
The thing about that, though, the thing about that, and this is the thing that the people aren't talking about. The reason why they were charged is because they admitted that they were guilty. Because it's literally me going like that. Okay, have you got the receipts? And I go, oh, no, I'm missing 2 of them. And you're like, okay, well, you need to show me all of the receipts. Otherwise you get charged. That's the rules. And they go, oh, well, actually, I'm missing that receipt. And you're like, okay, well, you're getting charged.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And they literally said, okay, here's our paperwork. Yeah, we're over by 10 million. Sorry.
Yeah.
And then they have to then say why they're over by 10 million.
Yeah.
But they're over by 10 million. So you're getting charged.
Yeah.
That's the rules.
That's the thing I don't get. Like, so when you can see it's so okay, maybe it's a little bit more complicated.
Everton's are hilarious, mate.
Pardon?
Everton's are hilarious. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, actually, the reason why we've overspent by like 50 odd million is because we were waiting on this deal from this Russian billionaire, and now there's a war.
Yeah. It was
and you're like,
yeah,
but you've been waiting 3 years for that deal.
It was also
it wasn't a war when you went for it.
But it wasn't Everton's. It wasn't even anything to do with actual money spent on players or anything. It's all to do with the stadium, isn't it? The new stadium.
Stadium.
And you go, that's a bizarre one. And then their latest one,
they didn't need to sign Sigurdsson and all those shit players.
No, but then
they didn't need to sign any of them.
Isn't their latest one something to do with? There was no way they get out of it because it was just being charged basically for what you got charged for the year before, and you haven't rectified it.
Yeah, so you still haven't made up the money.
No, but then you look at someone like Reading. Reading at the moment, it just obviously it's a little bit closer to home, but they're getting done at the moment because they're financially strapped. So they couldn't afford to pay their staff. So what does the EFL do? Fine them. How does that work?
Help.
You've got a company.
That's going to help pay the staff.
We're going to fine you 50,000 or 70,000, whatever it was, and we're going to deduct you points, which ends up getting you relegated, which then puts you into further financial issues.
And
then because you fined them, because you put them into the lower league, because the income's not what it was anymore, you're then not able to pay your staff again. So what are we going to do? We're going to fine you again. It's like, how the fuck does that work? Surely, I can understand if to a certain extent that fine went in place, and then the EFL then turned around to the Reading staff and went, "Here you go. Here's your missed salary." But they're not doing that.
So look at it like this. Okay, so I totally agree with the rules, by the way. So look at it like this. In Europe, there's about 8 billion worth of tax debt from football clubs floating around Europe. Yeah, and the taxmen are after that money. If the taxmen don't get that money, who pays the taxmen?
Yeah,
we do, the public.
We do.
So how can you let clubs run themselves? You can't.
Yeah.
Because and the reason why this came into play really big, mate, is because of Chelsea. Can you imagine if Chelsea weren't bought? They had 1.6 billion worth of debt to cover. Like, they had to pay that. Like, Abramovich paid that and then left. 1.6 billion. Can you imagine if the public had to pay that for a football club that nobody likes? You can't. You can't let clubs run themselves because you just get these owners that just spend stupid because guess what? They're not actually football. They're not football people. They don't know how to run clubs. Some of them.
Well, it's what Chelsea done this year, wasn't it? With that Todd Bowley.
He's done it every other. Because they're stopping the 9-year contracts now. They're dropping it down to 5 years.
But again, it's too late to a certain extent because he's already done it.
He's already done it.
But at the same time, if they don't qualify for Europe and they don't start having an income to cover those initial signings, they're screwed. And again, to a certain extent, you can see it's like Newcastle. Newcastle are richer than the whole bloody league when you look at their owners. Yeah. The whole league put together. But they're trying to do things sensibly and they're trying to do things the right way. And even they're in a position where at the moment where they're getting found out a little bit, not through any fault of overspending to a certain extent, but they're not getting the successes that they're hoping for. That's then brings in a bit more finance and covers what they're, because they've not gone silly. When you look at some of the players they brought, they've not gone silly by any means. When you look at the money they've got,
No.
they could invest.
They don't make any money when they sell players. That's their problem.
Yeah. But I say
they don't produce enough young players to be sold. Yeah.
So that's when they were looking at potentially having to sell. Was it Bruno Guimaraes and Almiron, weren't they? And what's his name, Trippier.
I think they will sell Almiron. I think he'll go to. I think he'll go to Saudi Arabia.
He was off to Saudi, wasn't he? But again, because I know they were trying to do it in January, trying to get that to go through. So again, I don't know whether or not it's going to be one of those scenarios where it's too little, too late, because they didn't get a transfer. That's one thing with going back to Reading. Their forward, I can't remember his name. It's João Pedro. Anyway, they had a forward, and they tried to sell him in the January transfer window last season, and he dug his heels in and went, "No, not going anywhere." And he's like, "No, but you need to go for the club to survive." Nah, not going anywhere. And you go, "Oh, cheers, mate."
That's what Brendan Johnson did.
Yeah. But then
that's why Forest are getting done.
Yeah.
I think Forest will get off with it, though. I think Forest will get off with it.
Yeah.
Because they're being charged, and they weren't even in the league at the time, which is a bit unfair. Like I think when you come up, I think you should be left alone for like 2 years. Yeah. Otherwise you're just going to go back down again. Like, you're not going to be able to have the power to spend, and then you're going to get relegated again. Like, it's just like, and also I don't agree with the rules where it encourages you to sell your young players.
Yeah.
Like, surely you're doing it so clubs play their young players more, which means they have a better academy in their own team. But you're basically just producing players to sell on to then buy foreigners. Like that. Yeah. That's not that dynamic doesn't work for me. Like,
no.
Yeah.
No. But no, I think you're right. I think you are, to a certain extent, if you're coming up, you should be given. It's like any game, is that you get your first hit free. And you get given at least a window or 2 windows just to go and get yourself into a position where you can compete.
Well, it kind of, I mean, it kind of looks like that is what happens now, because look at all the bottom teams. Look at the bottom 4.
Yeah,
they're all the teams that came up.
All
the teams that came up. Like, Luton are doing really, really well, by the way. Absolutely battered Brighton.
Yeah, and I tell you,
I've got to be honest. Like, I think we should. I do think that those 2 players, was it Obwengi and Abwengi or whatever they're called? Like, they're kind of like the same name.
Yeah,
I like that winger. I think he's.
Yeah,
I think teams will have a look. Some decent teams will have a look at him. You know.
Yeah, I can't see Ross Barkley staying there for long either.
I think he will, mate. He's old.
I don't think he's that old.
He's been good. He's good, like, but he's old, isn't he?
I don't think he is that old. I'm going to have a look at that. I was 27, 28.
Really?
I might be completely wrong, but there you go, Ross Barkley. I might be completely wrong, and forgive me if I am. He's 30.
Mid-30s.
No, he's
30. He's 30.
Yeah. So again, like I say, I mean, the man keeps himself fit. He's got another 3, 4, 5 seasons in him. Maybe not at the top, but I think, like I say, when I've seen him play this season,
I could see him bouncing around the teams that get promoted. Like,
I can see him
if Luton go down, then another team comes up, they'll get Barkley.
Well, again, I can see him at the likes of like Brighton, West Ham, Bournemouth.
He could definitely do a job back at Everton.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know whether you go back with your towel between your legs, do you?
Well, he left for Chelsea, didn't he?
Yeah. I feel for players like that. Like I say, again, it's happened so many times, isn't it? When you look at him, you got, who's the other one? Jack Rodwell went off to City. Calvin Phillips, all top of their game. And then they go rot in the reserves. It's just because
Danny Drinkwater.
Don't get me wrong, they've gone to rot in the reserve for a lot of money. But still,
Drinkwater.
Danny Drinkwater, yeah. That was at Leicester. That was Leicester to Chelsea as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Interesting.
Shame.
So Alonso then?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's got to be my number one choice. I think, like I say, for many reasons we've listed already. He knows the club. He knows the history. The fans know him. The fans love him. He's doing well already over by Leverkusen. He's
not lost a game yet.
Yeah, I think he plays the right style of football. He does very, very well, like I say, without having spent a great deal of money. He makes the most of what he's got. He's happy to play the youth team players. So you'd like to think if he gets given a big club with some decent players.
Interesting thing about him as well is, like, have you ever seen a Liverpool player who played for such a short amount of time at our club become such an icon?
An icon, yeah.
Like, what was he? Was he at us for like 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
Quite incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
literally, like, teams he went off to and the time he spent with them.
Like he played for us for 3 years, and he gets picked in the Legends game all the time. And you think he is a legend, like, for Liverpool. You think he's a guy that's played for us for like
10 years.
6-7 years. He wasn't with us that long. It's crazy, isn't it? I think he played for Real Madrid more.
2004 to 2009. So he done 5 seasons.
Oh, he did 5 seasons with us.
Well, yeah, 5-ish. I mean, I reckon he done the 4 seasons and left because he's 143 games he done for us, which, in all fairness, isn't a lot. I mean, 143 games for us and 158 games for Real Madrid, and then 79 games for Bayern Munich.
And when he was playing for us, he was going to be playing Champions League, pretty close to going to the final. Did he go to the final twice with us?
Obviously, he won it.
Was he in the second final?
He won it in 2005, and then the other one was in 2008, wasn't it?
Yeah, was he in the Harry Kuehl final?
Career stats, honours, really got runners up, I guess. Liverpool, FA Cup, 2005-2006, Community Shield, UEFA Champions League, 2004-2005, Super Cup. That doesn't say. The other final was 2008, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 years later.
Yeah, so he would have been there.
He won a lot. He would have played.
Yeah,
because we sold him for like 30 million to Real Madrid, so he would have definitely played.
Yeah.
I don't remember Mascherano being in that final.
I don't know. Again, a player. Again, is another one you love, but you weren't there. Mascherano.
Zabi could take Mascherano as his number 2, by the way. Mascherano is a manager now. Or an assistant manager. I think he might be managing the Argentine under-19s,
Argentine football coach.
He is, isn't he?
Did he first coach?
They're all cutting the clock. Is he? Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
No. Current Argentine under-21s head coach.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. I was pretty close. I said 19s.
Yeah, but that's another one. Like I say, 2007 to 2010, 94 goals, 94 games. Sorry, 1 goal. But again, just brilliant player. Loved him.
When did he score? I don't remember him scoring a goal.
Don't know.
Must have been a screamer.
Just
I don't remember him ever shooting. I don't even remember him shooting.
He was just defensive mid, wasn't
he? Yeah.
And then they proved it because he went into centre back, didn't he? At Barca.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Was he there when Pep was there? Did he play for Pep? Was that under Pep?
Barca?
Yeah, when they had like that ridiculous couple of seasons. Xavi. That's not Xavi. Mascherano.
have a look.
There's Frank. There's no way. There's no way Gerrard is going to be a number 2.
No.
Right? He's like one of the highest paid managers in the world right now. Like, can you imagine how big his ego is? And he's absolutely dog shit right now as well. Like, God knows how he got a new contract. God knows how Robbie Fowler got sacked and he didn't.
Yeah, I think he's won one game or something out there, hasn't he?
I'd rather Xabi Alonso took Fowler as his number 2. Yeah. Fowler's going to end up being a good manager.
I think Fowler given half a chance. I think if you could get him into Liverpool as a number 2 and like a striker coach,
he's always there.
If he could sit in that role and work with Nunes, I think Nunes could be deadly. If you could actually get him just to sort of take a breath.
He's actually said, hasn't he? He's actually said to Nunes, like, I'll coach you if you want, mate.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, all Nunes needs to do really is probably just sit with Jota for a bit.
Yeah.
Jota knows how to score, mate.
I think again, needs to go, obviously going back an hour or so, conversation with Nunes, but for me, he just needs to try less if that's possible. Again, it's just he puts so much power behind the ball, whether it be with a shot, whether it be with a header, and again, you just kind of just think, just ease it back, literally 5-10%, and rather than power, just ease it back a little bit, and that power will come in, will either replicate a bit of spin or a bit of curl or something.
It's like when you're playing FIFA and you keep your finger on the button too long.
Yeah, absolutely. It is exactly like that.
Nunes.
Yeah. But again,
your red line and that you keep on going past the sweet spot.
But it's that scenario though. Where, would you take him out your team though?
No way.
No, he's just
insane.
You
take him out your team, and your level just goes. Zzz.
Yeah, because like two or three, he takes 2 or 3 players out of a team because he's just so chaotic in what he does that I think it takes like 2 or 3 players to actually try and mark him, because I don't think half the time he knows what he's going to do. So how defenders are then going to try and mark him and read how he plays?
You know what he wants to do. He wants to just shoot.
He wants to shoot. Yeah.
He's took more shots in his time at Liverpool than any other player in the Premier League has taken on goal.
That was just in that Chelsea game the other night.
Yeah, by about 100.
Yeah,
him and Salah are just like right up there for shooting. Like,
it's one of those things.
I shoot so much.
I keep meaning to look at what the stats are, or what the odds are on like Liverpool. We put him in the team and see Liverpool have 3 shots on target, or 3 shots at goal, or just him to have those 3 shots at goal, because he does literally shoot from anywhere, sight of goal.
And 15 against Chelsea, mate.
Yeah, and hit the woodwork 4 times.
4 times.
Crazy. To be honest, I know. I said this to someone today. I know obviously he's a striker and he wants the goals, and you got to a certain extent let him get a little bit of confidence. But I don't. When he picked up the ball to take the penalty, I was thinking to myself, do you need someone that's a little bit erratic on a penalty, or do you need someone that's calm and collective and that will just take a penalty, not just
McAllister. McAllister needed to take that pen.
Yeah, I don't, mate. I don't know. I don't understand.
By the way, Nunes has never missed a pen. By the way, that's his first miss.
Oh, is he? Maybe.
Yeah. So it's not like he hasn't got a good.
Maybe I'm being harsh on him. But
yeah, I think we are. But I wanted Gomez to take that pen.
Mate, I tell you what, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you get a chance, have a look on YouTube. The F2 freestylers, what's his name? Billy Wingrove and Jeremy Lynch, whatever their names are. They went in probably about 4 or 5 years ago. They went to the Liverpool training ground and they done free kicks with, I think it was Xherdan Shaqiri, Trent. I think Van Dijk was there, and maybe one other. I think it was like 3 or 4 players they'd done free kicks with, and they had one of the, they have the goals, and they have those rectangular nets where they have the corners at the top, corners at the bottom, and then a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
And they each took 5 shots, and it was seeing who could hit top right, top left, bottom right, and through the middle. And then Gomez stepped up, not even supposed to be involved in it. And Gomez stepped up and hit every single one of them. I think Trent maybe hit 2 or 3. And Van Dijk done the same 2 or 3. But Gomez hit every single one. 5 out of 5.
I've got it here. I'm going to play it. I've got it here. I'm going to share it. I've just got to take the sound out.
I was kind of hoping the other night when you had Szoboszlai took a
Can you see it?
yeah. Szoboszlai took a free kick, didn't he? You were half waiting for him to scream it in.
It's Gomez here.
So again, a New Balance kit. That's how long ago it was. When was it? 2 years. It's got to be longer than 2 years. We've had Nike kit for 2-3 years, haven't we?
There you go. It's better. You can see it better. Here we go.
Man's got some whip.
That Gomez.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's just put 2 in the top bin.
I think that was top right, bottom left, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it Emre Can? There you go.
Oh.
Right, bottom left, top
Is that
left.
Joey G? That's Joey G. Top bins.
And bottom bin.
All 3.
Yeah. You got 4 out of 4, and then look, straight down the middle. They're all standing there going, what? That was
Bobby's
Bobby.
there.
Yeah,
Bobby's
they were
there
standing going, what the fuck?
Bobby's not a free kick taker. This will be interesting. You should watch. There's a. He hit the he hit the thing, didn't he?
It is the German wall.
Oh, and he's just hit the wall. Yeah, Bobby's not great at free kicks. Oh, I think I could have got one in from there.
Oh mate, I've seen you play. I don't know about that. But again, like I say, you
Oh, this one goes in.
There you go, top left.
Yeah, he was warming up.
It's not easy. Do you know what I mean?
This will be interesting.
Don't get me wrong, it's a young Trent, you know what I mean? But
that was a young Gomez, though, wasn't it?
Pam?
That was a young Gomez as well.
Yeah.
Oh, he just killed the person in the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, he missed. I reckon Shaqiri will be good, mate. Oh.
And again.
I think Gomez is having a go at him. I can't put the sound on in case I get a strike. Oh, he hit the post. He didn't get one. Oh no, he's got one more. Yeah, he gets this one. He keeps on going for the hard one, doesn't he? 1 out of 5. Did Gomez get all 5?
Yeah, Gomez gets 5 out of 5.
Jeez.
That's what I mean. It's not like he can't do it.
Verge is decent at free kicks. He does knuckleball, doesn't he?
Ooh.
Jesus. Nearly broke the net with that. That's in as well. Ooh.
1 from 2. He's done. Stepped up, Showmass done. But again, Shaqiri was always one sniffing around free kicks as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he scored some big free kicks, mate, for Switzerland.
The old lefty.
Oh, and it goes.
Over.
Pop.
Missed. He's got that top left. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Was that 3 out of 3?
That's 1 from 3. Oh, missed.
Oh, that went wide. That went in as well. 2 out of 5.
2 from 5.
You should look at. Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it? Is there not like a final or anything, or is it them doing it now?
No, I think that was it. I don't think they step up to do it. That's what I mean. He's hittable, and he's showing that at the moment. The way he's getting forward, and like I say, he's having decent strikes on goal. And there's been some big saves, but it doesn't help him, does it? When you think they keep making comments saying he hasn't scored in 7 years or he hasn't scored in 8 years since making his debut, and blah 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 blah, and then old Connor Bradley steps up, having made 2 or 3 appearances and bangs. Just
I know, crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think what's her name scored yet, has he? What's her name? Shimikas. Has he scored yet?
No, I don't think he has
scored yet.
Oh, Jarrell Quansah scored the other week, didn't he?
Yeah, Quansah's got 2 assists as well. 1 goal, 2 assists.
Yeah,
Quansah should have had 2 goals, by the way. But
that was a good one. His 1 goal was a good finish, to be fair, wasn't it?
Yeah, the one in Europe was good, but it was disallowed when it was ridiculously shouldn't have been disallowed. But there you go. That's another game that we were robbed. Thing about it as well is, and I will talk about this. Have you heard about the Belgium league, where they're getting a match replayed?
Oh yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I read that the other day.
Like, I don't know why we don't push it. Like it's literally 3 points. Like,
the unfortunate thing is, it will be one of those age-old scenarios. If we push it and we win the league off the back of it,
but it's happened. But it's happened in another league. we can still push that. I think.
Yeah, I think
that hasn't gone away.
No,
they were guilty.
I think if we were to push it and we would get the game replayed, you would never have heard the end of it. Even now, like I say, that year when we won the league with COVID, we were running away with the league. We were going to get,
and they wanted to stop it.
Yeah, record amount of points, and then they wanted to stop the league. But still, when you're on these forums and that, and you see on some of the chats and stuff, you only won the league because it was a COVID season and blah 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 blah. Not all the games played behind closed doors, no fans, yada yada. And you go, hold on, we were on target to hit 110 points.
Yeah.
Pre that game, we were on target at 110 points. And again, we would have been invincible as well, wouldn't it? It would have been an invincible season for us.
It would have been invincible.
Yeah. For 110 points, not lost a game all season. And then, obviously, COVID hits. We have the break in the middle of the season. And then, by that point, the league was already pretty much done, in the bag. The momentum, to a certain extent, had gone. But again, still rival fans come out with, oh, yeah, but it was a COVID season. There was no fans in the stadium, and blah, blah. And it's like, bollocks. Absolute bollocks. That works both ways, right? I mean, you see it at Anfield when how much the crowd makes a difference.
It was only no fans for was it 12 games?
Yeah,
something like that.
Don't get me wrong, that can make a difference. And then, like I say,
we win the league 4 games before.
I think so.
4 games to go.
Yeah, but
so
it's
12 games. Okay, well. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe take that to 8.
But that's the thing. Fans will use any excuse just to justify why we win the league. And you imagine if we were to get that game replayed and we win it, we get the 3 points, and then we win the league because of those 3 points. It'll be, oh, you only won it because. And it's like, well, yes, like
because we were robbed. Like
Yeah.
we were robbed, and we fought a charge which, and in other leagues they've done it now. They've done replays.
Yeah.
So, and
I think
the shit thing is that they give it all the excuses, the reason why it never got, like, the match never got stopped and stuff like that, and then the game later, the same happens again.
Yeah.
And but they stopped the game, and you're like, well, you said you wouldn't do it because you couldn't do that, but then you've just done that, which means that you could. Like,
yeah. I remember when, at the time, one of the commentators, who's I can't remember the ex-ref they have up representing them. What's his name? Looks like Jasper Carrot.
Halsey.
McDermott.
That the guy who came out and said that it's corrupt.
No, not Mark Halsey. It's the
Dermot Gallagher.
I think it was him who sits up with the commentators. He turned around and said they couldn't have restarted the game because it's not in the rules. And you go, well, hold on a minute. What is in the rules is giving a goal. What's in the rules is giving a goal when it's a legit goal. What isn't in the rules is ruling out a goal when it's a legit goal. So if you can give that goal, or if you can disallow that goal due to an error that's not in the rule book, or due to something that's not in the rule book, then surely you can then stop
that. It back on.
Yes, you could. Surely at some point you can then turn around to the officials that are having the conversations via the headsets, can turn around and say, ref, just let you know, we've made a mistake. You're going to have to stop the game. It should have been a goal. Go and speak to the managers, explain the situation. If you have to, show it on we'll show it on the screen and explain sort of what's gone on. Just apologise and award the goal. It's an unprecedented situation because it hasn't happened before. But now it's happened. Now they're going to make a rule for it. And you go, but surely at some point, sense should prevail. If there's an error and they're sitting there and you can hear them on the commentary afterwards going, oh shit, we fucked up, or whatever it was I was saying, surely they've got within 10, 15 seconds, when you've got that 10, 15 seconds to play an advantage in open field, surely with that 10, 15 seconds, you can then actually go, okay, boys, this is going to be embarrassing, but you fucked up.
But the thing is,
managers.
But the thing is, they said that they couldn't do that because of the rules.
Yeah.
But then they gave a penalty against us at Palace, like 28 seconds after the foul. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, we've gone down the other end. He scored
what's
ourselves.
Going on here? Like what happens if we'd have scored?
Yeah.
Would they have disallowed that goal to then go back to? Because I'm sure they would have.
Yeah.
So it's like okay, you're breaking your own rules, or you're just talking shit to cover your own ass.
Yeah.
And like the thing about it is, like, all I hear now on the microphones when they play that stuff is I hear a different type of reffed game to what I hear on the microphones when Liverpool are playing. It's like everybody is really, really up for the game to give it against us. The amount of times I've heard them going, penalty, it's penalty. It was handball. No, it wasn't. His hand was on the ground. It wasn't a foul. He kicked him. And then in the other games, you're like, yeah, you want to have a look at that? Yeah, this. Yeah, that. And it's like really calm. But when it's Liverpool, it's like, I don't know. It's like they're all shouting over each other, like trying to make something that isn't there. And I'm listening to it going, it sounds really corrupt. Like it sounds like we have a really unfair advantage, like from the VAR to the referee. Like
or
even when you listen to the
disadvantage, isn't it?
mate, even when you listen to the Odegaard, have you heard the Odegaard like commentary?
No, that was ridiculous. The man's
the referee goes, he falls over. It's like he's falling over. His hand touches the ground. His hand touches the ground. And the people in the thing like go, okay, let's have a look at that. And you're like, well, hang on a minute. The first thing you need to do is look at it and say to the referee, he didn't touch the floor. He didn't fall over. And then the referee can then go, okay, well, if he didn't slip, then that's handball.
Yeah.
Like, but then they talk about it and they're literally saying, well, what we want is we want the referees and the VAR to come to a mutual decision. No, you want the referees and the VAR to come to the right decision.
The right decision, yeah.
And even if you look at the handball by Onana, have you seen that one?
Of who? Sorry?
The handball by Onana versus Everton, Man City Everton.
No.
They literally say, oh, the reason why we give it is because his hand's above his head and it's not natural. His hand was here. Like his hand was literally here. And then he says it was on target. It wasn't on target. So basically what you have to do is you have to be in the VAR and go, right, the referee said it was on target, which means it was a goal scoring opportunity. Okay, the ball was going nowhere near the goal. It was a shank.
Yeah.
And then the VAR go, oh, well, we're giving it because his hand's above his head. Well, his hand isn't above his head. So you got that bit wrong and you got that bit wrong, which means the whole thing's wrong.
Yeah.
And the whole league could be decided by those two refereeing decisions. Because we should have beat Arsenal. Odegaard should have been sent off. We could have got a penalty. That would have been 2-1. Other way round, Man City would have drew that game, dropped 2 points against Everton because they wouldn't have got a penalty.
Where Curtis Jones got sent off on that tackle, and then we had that tackle against us a couple of weeks ago. Who was it?
Which
it
one?
was literally carbon copy.
Which one? Like you can name about 5 or 6 different players that have done bad tackles against us and got nothing.
Yeah, but it was a carbon copy, literally, of the Curtis Jones one, if not worse, and not even a card. And you sit there and go, and Klopp's going off.
Was that Newcastle?
Might have been.
Was it?
Yes.
Was it Joelinton?
Was it Joelinton or Rams? I want to say Jacob Ramsey for every reason. I'm going to be wrong.
No,
but I think it was a Newcastle game. But literally gone straight over the top of the ball.
It was Fulham. It was Fulham.
But you know the tackle I mean.
No, it wasn't Fulham. It wasn't Fulham. It was Clauvert, Bournemouth. Clauvert's son.
Yeah. Justin Kluivert. Yeah.
Justin Kluivert. Yeah.
But again,
it was a horror.
Right over the top of the ball.
Horrible.
Worse than
Curtis
Jones.
Absolutely.
Not even yellow.
Curtis Jones got the ball as well.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I mean, again, the Curtis Jones one. It goes going back to what I said earlier with the one of the weekend with Van Dijk clipping Mabel on the edge of the box when he had his back to him. I think as a Liverpool fan, if I'm holding my hands up,
he didn't have the ball. That should never have been a red card or a penalty because
who's that?
He didn't have the ball.
What's that?
But when what's her name ran past him? Oh, sorry. Are you talking about? Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Newcastle game when Virgil was sent off.
No, the Chelsea game the other night. But again, it's one of those scenarios where if it was against us, I'd probably be saying at least a card. Would I be saying as a red? Probably not. If it had been given as a red, I'd have gone, well, yeah, he's gone over the top of the ball. He has caught him. Debatable, but then you had the other night where you had the Everton game, when it Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin done a similar tackle, sliding in, studs up, And then the Everton fans were justifying it by saying that he won the ball. And you go, yes, he won the ball with his trading leg, not the foot that he's followed through with in the first place. So you can see why the referees deemed it as reckless and dangerous. So can you see why he's been sent off? Yes. Is it debatable? Maybe. But has he gone through, studs up, and caught the player? Yes. So it's what I say.
I mean, what I want to see at the weekend is I want to see some Arsenal players book for dissent, because the amount of times they get in the refs' faces.
Yeah.
Like when we played at Anfield, they were like, I don't know how Saka didn't get like a couple of yellows, and Odegaard and a few others. Like they were just constantly bitching at the ref. Like Rice was just constantly bitching at the ref. Like I've got to shoot now, mate. Okay.
Yes, man.
But it's great catching up with you, mate. And we'll definitely have another natter, mate. And we'll sort something out offline for the Burnley game. All right?
Burnley game. Yes, mate. That's cool. I'll I was just having a look at the fixtures, just having a look at some of the what we've got left.
Do you want to go to the pub? Do you want to go to the pub and watch that?
Yeah, can do. Yeah, as long as you know what's local to yourself, I'll come grab you. We'll head down there.
Cool. Sounds good, mate.
Yeah, we'll do that. All right, mate. Cool.
I'll catch up with you soon, mate. And I hope it all well with the family and that. All right, mate.
Yes, mate. All good. All right, man. I'll speak to you in a bit.
The Reds.
Yes, bye. Man. See you later. Bye.
And that's the rest of the show for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Just having a catch up with a good friend of mine, John, talking all things Liverpool and maybe a couple of other things as well. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. I will be doing some upcoming shows on a couple of other channels. Jamie Phillips, also I'll be on Frank Carlisle every now and again as well. So you can check out them. And obviously Quasi Bold, I'll be on his channel after every Liverpool game, doing a match review. I hope you enjoyed the show today, and I will leave you to enjoy your weekend. And I predict 2-1 Arsenal for us. If Nunes doesn't play, then probably going to be Jota, and maybe Virgil van Dijk or Trent with a goal. But who knows? We've got so many scorers in the team right now. And up the Reds. See you later.